So dating is never really as smooth sailing as everyone would like for it to be. When you're practicing your social skills, if you're going out and cold approaching, you'll find that there will be days that will be great, there will be days that will be challenging, and you'll have this constant roller coaster of getting good results and bad results. And you'll have days as well where you will go out and you'll get a string of really good conversations and maybe even get a phone number or two. And then something will happen and then it just knocks your confidence, or it knocks that momentum that you had. Like maybe you just spoke to someone who was in a bad mood and then that is now rubbed off on you and now you just don't feel great and you're like, oh, I don't think I want to speak to anyone anymore today. I feel really down. I feel, not in the mood. And this is a normal occurrence that happens for anyone that goes out to socialize, because when you're talking to new people, there will always be this element of the unknown. You don't know what is going on with people. You don't know what they're thinking. You don't know their personalities or their behaviors. And it just means that when you are meeting people, there is an element of rolling the dice and following this chaos theory of like, when I speak to a stranger, I have absolutely no idea what is going to happen. And that can be both scary and exciting at the same time for men and for even the women that they are speaking to. But many guys I know, they do struggle when those moments happen, when they speak to someone and their confidence is just lost. Like maybe they've been rejected. Maybe they fumbled their words. Maybe they embarrassed themselves somehow. Maybe someone shouted at them like, get out of my way or something, and it's just knocked them. It's knocked that social momentum that they had, and it then puts them off from wanting to do anything further that day. So I want to just make it clear that, it's absolutely normal if you have these good days, bad days, or roller coaster experience of a days, whatever it is. But you've got to bear in mind that sometimes you have to go one step backwards to go two steps forwards. So I want to give you just, if anything, a very simple mindset to bear in mind when those moments happen. And that when your confidence is knocked or when you've lost that momentum, you do need to take a step back and you need to just simplify things again. So what do I mean by that? Well, I'll give you a good example. So at the end of last year, I was working with two clients, two amazingly really cool guys, and they had moments where they had the momentum, things were going great, and then just suddenly it just sort of like disappeared, and they were just sort of then going through a phase of really struggling. They couldn't have conversations with people. They just couldn't get back to that point again. And I said to them, right, we're going to take a step back and all I want you to do is start giving compliments again. And they were like, yeah, but we were doing compliments a few days ago. Like we should be having conversations now. And I was like, no, don't worry. You will be having conversations again. That much is most certainly true. But right now, you've got to get that momentum and that feeling back in your body that what you're doing is great. Socializing is a really, really good thing. And we've just got to build that optimism back up again. Unfortunately, in this day and age, it's very easy to knock people down, but it does take a lot of effort to bring people up. And it's why you do have to be somewhat conscious about the fact that that happens and that you have to look after yourself. You have to be like, okay, well, what's the first thing that I can do again to slowly build myself back up incrementally and get back to where I was essentially content with? So if you started off giving compliments, asking for directions, and then eventually your mood got better and you were having a bit more fun with your compliments, you were having more conviction, maybe you were being a bit more ballsy with your interactions in some form or another, and then you are having great conversations with people, you've got to do the exact same procedure. You've got to build that up again. So even if you got to that phase of having great interactions, something happens and you're just back down to the bottom, just start with giving compliments again. Just start with asking for directions again. And you will find actually even faster, you'll get back to that place. But you have to understand, you've got to build it up. Our emotions really are like a roller coaster, and sometimes they will be up, sometimes they'll be down, and sometimes they really, really, really go down. And you have to work with it. You can't resist it. You have to just accept that is how you are feeling in that moment. But like with anything, and even with, and I've said this in other videos, but even with how like the weather, the clouds move across the sky, it's the exact same thing with emotions. Your emotions will come, but they'll pass and they will go. But you have to just accept that it's there and you have to work with it, and then eventually you will shift it. So if you're having moments where you're interacting with people and you certainly feel that you were doing well, something happens and you've lost it, you've lost that momentum, take a step back, reassess the situation and say, okay, how am I feeling? What can I do just to get that momentum or ball rolling again? Do I just need to give compliments? Do I ask for directions? Is there something else that I need to do? And then do it. And then do it several times. And even if you don't get back to where you were during that session of you practicing your social skills, or that time that you are going out and about and socializing, it's fine. You'll probably find anyway that even after the day is over and you've had some rest and then you've gone out or you carry on living life the next day, you'll probably find that you'll be exactly where you were anyway. So don't be too hard on yourself if momentum is broken and you find that you've got to take a step back, because don't worry, you will end up taking 2 steps forward and you'll probably find you'll be doing even better. And as long as you can learn how to manage your energy levels and your expectations, you will have no problems with going out and practicing your social skills. So my name is Dan, and of course this is my channel, That Danxiety Guy, and I particularly help people with their social anxiety. And one of the ways that I do that is through a method called cold approaching, which is essentially going over to a complete stranger and starting a conversation, which is a very similar concept to cold calling, where you're calling up someone who you don't know and you're having a conversation with someone. So having the ability to go and speak to a stranger is scary enough as it is. And this video was essentially talking about this concept and the roller coaster that anyone going out to practice their social skills using cold approach as the method is what they tend to experience. And it's normal and it's fine. So embrace that when you're going out, whether you are someone who's introverted, extroverted, shy, confident, whatever, everyone goes through the same experiences at some point or another. So if you're speaking to people, don't worry if you end up having to work on, areas of your confidence that maybe you had already worked on before, because you will be moving forward, you will be getting more confident, and you will be getting better at speaking to whoever it is that you want to speak to, whether it be for going on dates or socializing, making friends. So I hope you found this video interesting. It was really more just to kind of give you a bit of a mindset shift on, don't be too hard on yourself if you are going out and speaking to people and then something happens and you just, you lose that confidence, and to avoid essentially sounding like a broken record, like and subscribe, and look forward to more videos from me.